Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to be having ourselves a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma. Now our heroes today are going to be Field Memory Acceptance, playing for the Soviets, and his opponent is going to be none other than AndyisRIPPIN, playing for the Germans. So these two players are incredibly good. Let's talk about them a little bit. AndyisRIPPIN, which we're seeing right now, is, well, pretty well known, considering that he currently holds the #1 spot for both Soviet and Germans in the 1v1 ladder. Both of them. Same time. At the time of casting this. I mean, I don't know if it's going to change, but at the time of casting this, he is #1 ranked for both factions. No other. That's him. So, Field Memory Acceptance has his work cut out for him, but he's no scrub at all. He's right there behind them. Not as close, but pretty close. Field Memory Acceptance, at the time of casting this, holds the #6 rank for the Soviets, and he's also ranked #10 for the Germans. So, top 10 players, both of them right here, so very nice. So yeah, we should expect an awesome game from this, or a very boring game, considering that they're so good that they won't be able to do anything to each other. Who knows? Anyways, we see Field Memory Acceptance getting himself his Doctrine, and that is the Soviet Shock Army. He didn't build any tech, just got himself conscripts, 3 conscripts out already, and getting a 4th one, no Molotovs first, so 4 conscript opening. AndyisRIPPIN, for his part, got himself tier 1 like you would expect, got himself 2 Grenadiers, one is, no, that's actually a Pio. Both of them currently going down south, got himself an MG42, and is building a second MG42 out of that. MG42 is now a little bit more favored by a lot of German players, considering their increase in suppression, making them just that more effective. So down south we see an engagement, Combat Engineer and Conscripts duking it out. The Grenadiers do outnumber, essentially, because they are better. But there is a second Conscript squad nearby. However, Field Memory Acceptance decides to pull back, sends his Combat Engineers to heavy cover, and backs off with his Conscripts into the center. Both Grenadier squads currently heading down south, covering each other, very nice. And the MG42 is currently heading up to the north to cover the entire approach here for the cutoff. And very nice anticipation here by AndyisRIPPIN. The MG42 is going to catch this conscript squad right as it approaches. There goes the burst, gets the suppression off immediately. And the conscript squad is going to get pinned down, hits retreat right away, and only suffers a little bit of health loss. So very nice reading there by AndyisRIPPIN. He knew that was coming, and the MG42 was already in place before Field Memory Acceptance even took the decision. So down south we see the conscripts and grenadiers duking it out. The combat engineer did end up having to retreat, although it didn't take that much damage. Conscripts combined effort do manage to do a little bit of damage to one of the grenadier squads, forcing it to back off and get itself into some cover. The other grenadier squad moves in to relieve its position, and the conscripts, well, get the hell out of there. The second conscript squad, or well, that would be the 4th conscript squad, is now in the center, assisting the conscript squad over here, but this one just sets up in the heavy cover to, you know, defend its cutoff point. So very nice. Fuel point, however, will be taken. We do have the MG42 coming up for support. It's going to set up here. Very nice decision here by AndyisRIPPIN. Sets up to cover this angle in case of a flank. So very nice. Grenadiers are here, making sure that nothing comes in this direction. So the MG42 is pretty safe there. Very nice. So Molotovs and nothing has actually gotten upgraded. So Field Memory Acceptance actually going for a tier 1 before anything, and potentially gonna get himself tier 3. Interesting. Shock troops getting called in, so that's gonna bolster his forces. LMG getting upgraded on the 4-man Grenadier squad down south, and that is providing a lot of firepower down on this conscript squad. Conscript squad still on its own, trying to hold the line. The MG42 is about to capture that munitions point. Once it captures it, I'm pretty sure it's going to move down over here to support. We have a Pios in the center, MG42 covering the north completely, and this munitions point did get abandoned. Conscripts just littering the north, capturing territory, and the conscript squad now down to 3 men, forced to retreat. Combat Engineer squad moves in to try to support and get a flank with a flamethrower, but is now getting shot upon with an MG42, an LMG, and multitude of Grand Rifles, and one of the Combat Engineers goes down quite instantly. This Combat Engineer that's currently getting shot was in heavy cover, does end up dying, and the Combat Engineers are trying to distract that MG42. Nice nade falling there by the shock troops. Down to 1 man on 1 grenadier squad. The shock troops down to 4 men themselves, but they do manage to force away. And they do kill one of the grenadier squads as they retreat. Other grenadier squad down to 1 man, and the sniper on the field for AndyisRIPPIN, with a second sniper coming up right now. But the sniper is also forced to retreat, and there comes the sniper. So very interesting build orders here. So 2 grenadiers, 2 MG42s, and 2 snipers. Very nice combined. I mean, only need some mortar there, and it would be a fully combined arms. So MG42 does get flanked down south by the conscripts and is forced to retreat. The shock troops are down to 4 men, but they're still on the field, still doing what they can, plugging away as hard as they possibly can. Conscripts are going to move to cut out to pick up the connection point so he can start getting resources from at least this point. And out in the front of the base we have a PIO squad from AndyisRIPPIN just capturing some territory. And there we go, we do see tier... No, actually, sorry. No, it's just tier 1 and getting some scout cars. Very interesting choice, and I like this from Field Memory Acceptance because he saw snipers, and these guys can catch up to snipers very quickly. It's an interesting choice. So both snipers currently heading up to the north. They take a shot at one of the conscript squads. Second sniper moves in, takes another shot, and down goes the 3-man that conscript squad. Probably going to be forced to retreat. There it goes. And the MG42 is set up covering the approach, so it runs straight into the conscript squads, which have PPSHs equipped now. But, well, those PPSHs are not going to help them against that MG42 all the way back there. The scout car is heading into the center, going to run into an MG42, and the sniper, can it catch the sniper on the retreat? It does shoot at the sniper. The MG42 is retreating as well. He's trying to chase down. The MG42 sets up to shoot at the scout car as it approaches, and Field Memory Acceptance looks like he is going to, no, he's going to continue to chase. Both snipers are heading back to base. Is AndyisRIPPIN going to lose his snipers, or is he going to get the kill? The snipers are trying to split up. They hold fire and are trying to get into cloak. MG42 continues to go by, and the snipers are playing ring around the HQ sector. Everything is back. The scout car decides to get the hell out of there. It missed its opportunity to kill those cars, and it looks like, no, it doesn't go down. Very nearly makes it out alive. A very bold maneuver there by Field Memory Acceptance, and he's managing to control his snipers quite successfully and keeps him alive. Very, very lucky there. Second shock troop squad getting called in, and that scout car is heading down south, probably for some repairs. There it goes, just stops there and evacuates and starts the repairs. Very nice. Shock troops just capturing around. This is still the original shock troop squad with 5 kills to its name already, 4 men left. And we have snipers retreating since a conscript squad moved into the house and got killed. Nice rifle nade into the house, and the MG42 set up looking at the exit, just making them die very quickly. So a little bit of a heavy punishment there for Field Memory Acceptance. He didn't manage to pick up any unit killed with his scout car, so it's quite questionable. But he did see that the snipers had retreated. He's probably going to go hunt them down with the scout car. Is that going to happen? AndyisRIPPIN is quite aware that the scout car is moving in this direction. The point actually gave him that information. Now the base sector is giving them that info as well. Grenadiers are moving back and are going to intercept that scout car as it comes out of the base. No, it decides to move up to the north. Pioneers are moving in retreat. The scout car decides to back off and try to get the kill on the Pios as they retreat into the base, but the scout car is going to die to that. Grenadiers moving down. Pios there. Can they get him? No. Faust is going to go off from the Grenadiers. No, actually they do not. But the scout car is not going to make it out. The base sector MG is going to kill it. The combat engineers decide to evacuate and run the gauntlet back home. There are snipers in the way, but the snipers are a little bit engaged in the south. They're going to have to run through the snipers right now. Snipers decide to ignore them. Yeah, those combat engineers are going to be just fine. Center map, conscripts just engaging all over the place. We have some engagements down south. But yeah, I mean,
the hard part will be keeping it. Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Ooh, nice rifle nade there, but actually only does some health damage, so very nice. Tech-wise, we see AndyisRIPPIN going for tier 3, so he skips tier 2 altogether, getting himself another Grenadier squad to replace the one that he lost to those shock troops. And we now see tier 3 coming down for Field Memory Acceptance. So a very bold maneuver there because he will not have heavy anti-tank capabilities, especially with his Doctrine. So, yeah, I mean, it's a gamble, but we might see Field Memory Acceptance just build an additional tech, either Tier 2 for AT guns or Tier 4 later on if we see some heavy tanks. We can probably assume that this is going to be either a T-34 or a T-70, which is really not saying anything. I was going to say we can probably assume it's going to be a T-70, but considering the amount of fuel he has, he can already get a T-34, so T-34 is also a reasonable option. So anyways, small engagement down by the cutoff point. The Grenadiers did take it away, but they decided to retreat, not taking too much damage. There is no med bunker currently at base for AndyisRIPPIN, so his units do, basically stay damaged throughout. And his snipers are currently just holding position around back, being covered by an MG42. The MG42 is currently getting assaulted by a shock troop squad. Shock troop squad going straight at it. The snipers are there for support, but the MG42 continues to back off, and the shock troops just capture the point. Snipers are going to angle themselves to be able to shoot there. Smoke nade going down, so the snipers don't actually have line of sight. Very nice move there by Field Memory Acceptance. That's going to allow them to, at the very least, get the decap on that point. And the snipers need to be very careful and actually back off even further, because that would actually, if they're close enough to get shot, the shock troops could actually move past this without them seeing and be right on top of them. So the snipers prefer to exercise caution and they back off a little bit. Up north we have another engagement, Pios and shock troops jumping into the house, a little bit scared of those Pios, but the Pios are taking quite a beating. And Grenadiers with G43s. Oh, yeah, I never mentioned it. AndyisRIPPIN got his Doctrine, and that is the Lightning War Doctrine. You don't see that a lot, but very nice. Sniper opening up on the approaching Grenadiers. This combat engineer also taking some shots down to one man with a flamethrower, and the Grenadiers catch that one man, and they're going to execute him as he retreats. He tries to retreat. Does he get out of the way? He does get out of the way through the hedgerow. Breaks line of sight once again, and he is home free. Down south, combat engineer takes a nasty rifle nade to the face, and it's going to go down this time, so no luck to the second squad. At the very least, that one didn't have a flamethrower. So T-70 was a choice in the end for Field Memory Acceptance. He's now going to harass his MG42 and try to clear it out. Remember then, with the recent patch, accuracy essentially was reduced with moving vehicles, especially tanks. So the T-70 is no longer, not as much as a ridiculous infantry killer when it moves. So if you want to get, good accuracy shots with your tanks, you do have to. So the T-70 gets caught by the Panzer IV out of position. The Panzer IV now essentially says, you're going to die, and then it dies. That is unfortunately the gamble that you take by going Tier 3 in a T-70. And unfortunately for Field Memory Acceptance, AndyisRIPPIN was already on top of that and getting himself that Panzer. So T-70 not able to do much, only got a couple of kills on those MG42s, but didn't actually kill the squad. Shock troops down south engaging against the Grenadier squad, now getting surprised from behind with a Panzer IV, and the snipers are in the way, taking some pot shots, and they are forced to retreat quite instantly. They should be able to make it out alive. One man is already clean home. One shock troop gets shot almost point blank by the Panzer IV and gets killed, but, he's fine. Center map, MG42 taking some shots from the conscripts in the house. Also, the PPSH got adjusted because apparently the, the weapon that the squad was receiving was the PPSH version that is used in single player, which I don't know exactly how different it is, but it looks like it was better. So that might be even a nerf, but the upgrade only costs 10 munitions now, so that's actually good. And there goes the ram. AndyisRIPPIN manages to just pull back, only gets slight engine damage. So the Panzer IV will be fine, but a very nice ram, aggressive ram there by Field Memory Acceptance. He doesn't have any way to follow it up, and he's actually getting himself a T-70. That is a very bold maneuver there by Field Memory Acceptance. You would expect a second T-34 because he knows there's a Panzer IV on the field, but I mean, does he think that he can actually get the kill right here? I don't know. T-34 is going to be getting repaired by the combat engineers on the field. The conscripts are pushing up to try to help it out. Conscripts over here, looks like they were trying to get in range to throw an 18-8 maybe? 18-8s have not gotten upgraded, so no, they weren't doing that. And the conscripts are going to jump into the house and try to catch the snipers out of position. The snipers are out of position. They open fire into the house, and the conscripts jump out on the other side and get back home. Well, jump out, stay there. So the T-34 does manage to get fully repaired and is now right on top of the Panzer IV. The Panzer IV is getting shot, has some weapon damage still, and that is a very risky maneuver by Field Memory Acceptance. Although he did decide to cancel that T-70 and get himself T-34, so it might have been a misclick on his part. But the Panzer IV is going to go down. There is nothing here that AndyisRIPPIN can do. The T-34 is just going to move to the rear and shoot it on the rear armor to increase its penetration and damage. And the infantry for Field Memory Acceptance is just capturing territory. So the Pioneers do go down, getting riddled by the coaxial machine gun. The machine gun on the Panzer IV is trying as much as it can to shoot. And AndyisRIPPIN is actually getting himself a Stug to try to keep this guy alive, but no, there it goes, out of control, so Field Memory Acceptance gets himself a nice kill. Shoots off one last time before it goes, and the Grenadiers to the center, shooting off their G43s, getting shot by shock rifles, and the shock rifles are jumping over a log. I actually didn't know that was possible. I knew fences had that ability, but I didn't know that you could vault over logs. So a Faust does go off on the T-34, and the Stug is coming in to slay it. Second T-34, however, is on the field, and the Grenadier Squad veteran C3 gets eliminated because they got a little bit too greedy there. The flamethrowers taking its toll, and the Grenadiers are trying, I mean, the shock troops are trying as much as they can to get rid of that Grenadier Squad. The second T-34 moves up. The original T-34 does go down after getting veteran C2. The Stug is now in a very bad spot, and the T-34 will be able to finish it off. Combat engineers do decide to retreat, but the Stug goes down, and the T-34 reigns supreme. Very nice exchange there by both players, in fact. I mean, a very nice and bold ram there by Field Memory Acceptance. That actually got him the kill on that Panzer IV eventually. Very aggressive, very risky, but it paid off. And then, you know, Stug comes in, kills the guy. Second T-34 comes in, kills the Stug. Very nice. So a call-in on top of the MG42. That says Sturmovik attacks. Sturmovik is going to rip to shreds that MG42. Down it goes. 2 men get killed instantly, and the rest of them retreat. So this entire northern area is going to be off limits for AndyisRIPPIN. That Sturmovik is just brutal for what it can do. And the T-70 is going bold, going big, going home, and takes a pound to the rear. But there is nothing on the field right now that AndyisRIPPIN can bring out that is a threat to the T-34. Because he has no tier 2. So both players taking very heavy risk, being very greedy, tier 1, tier 3, both of them actually, which is kind of funny. And it is, well, now coming back to fight and down goes the Grenadier Squad completely, so that T-34 has done its job. It's going to back off, taking some shots at the base sector MGs, essentially even clearing them out, opening up the base for attack. But yeah, the snipers are around there hiding. The T-34 sees them, but it decides to keep on shooting at the MG bunker, and he's going to be fine. Keep in mind, however, that AndyisRIPPIN does have the call-in of a Tiger, so he'll be able to get that, but he is nowhere near getting enough fuel to get that. And Field Memory Acceptance is currently utilizing this time to capture the rest of the map. So very heavy engagements on both sides and very heavy losses for both players, in fact. So Grenadiers and MG42 pushing into the center. MG42 being used to support. And the Grenadiers are there. The Sturmovik still loitering around the area. Is it going to take aim at these Grenadiers? It is moving away. Is it coming around for another pass? No, it looks like it is done for the evening. So yeah, it didn't really manage to do much, but it did clear up the north a little bit. So T-34 still backing off, still damaged. There is a combat engineer squad on the field, and the combat engineers going up to the north to meet that T-34. Very nice. And we do not have any upgrades, so Field Memory Acceptance is not fan of the base sector upgrades, which is interesting. More trees flying into the battlefield. It's a very volatile thing here. We actually see that mortar pushing some logs there. But it's an interesting choice. The 120mm mortar, it's going to use it to support the south. Could also potentially get some kills on those snipers. And the mortar sets up in heavy cover over here on this point. Both defended and half defense in that heavy cover. And there comes the shots. Up north, MG42 being forced away by conscripts, and conscripts now flooding down to the south. T-34 now fully repaired, and shock troops holding position around the center.
120mm mortars are now available for deployment.
The mortar is around there, not really shooting much. Shock troops down south taking some shots from the snipers. Snipers backing off and getting back into range to take some more shots at the shock troops. And the shock troops try to displace, but 2 of them are going to go down. There he goes, down to 2 men, forced to retreat. There they go. G43s will shoot at the shock troops as they move, but the 120mm mortar actually has a nice angle. What is it shooting at right now? Shooting at the Grenadiers. These Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are forced to displace, and the T-34 is now coming down upon them, and they are in a lot of trouble. Grenadiers coming down to the point. They're going to rush the T-34, trying to get a kill. Down goes one of the Grenadiers. Well, trying to get off a Faust, is what I'm trying to say. More shots flying. The G43s are not being able to penetrate the armor, which is not surprising to anybody. And apparently a double shot goes off in the center. That was weird. We saw 2 explosions at the same time. Oh, that's probably a 120mm mortar. Yeah, never mind. They hit simultaneously, so it looked like it might have just shot and, you know, registered as 2 hits. So the Grenadiers do manage to get in range and throw off a Faust. A Panzer IV is being produced, but there is already a second T-34 on the field for field memory acceptance, so he currently has the upper hand. And considering the Rand that we saw in the center, he is no stranger or not shy of doing that, so it's a very difficult battle here for Panzer IV. 2 Pios also getting produced for AndyisRIPPIN, so he wants to be able to repair that Panzer IV quickly if it does get disabled, but he doesn't know about the second T-34, which would negate that situation. Combat engineers down south get the repairs off on the T-34, now back to full strength, and shock troops down south just capturing territory. Snipers now moving in unison up to the north, MB-42 set up covering the approach, and the G-43 is just opening up constantly on those conscripts, forcing them to back away. Mortar sets up in the center, is currently going to bombard something. The Panzer IV heads into the center, but just sits up there for defense, and it's going to spot that T-34 as it approaches. They're going to shoot each other now, and the T-34 backs off, getting a little bit shy. The Panzer IV pushes forward, backs off once again, and the T-34 is now being aggressive and goes in his direction. Second T-34 now found out by the Grenadiers, so the Panzer IV backs off. It doesn't want to take a risk, and the T-34 in the center, after playing a little bit of cat and mouse there, just backs off and is probably going to wait for some repairs. Combat engineers are currently retreating from the south. There's a Grenadier squad there. They're probably forced them to retreat. And the shock troops are capturing the points. Victory point wise, we have 329 for field memory acceptance and 425 for AndyisRIPPIN, so anybody's game at this point. And we are still not done. So Grenadiers trying to go for the fuel. T-34 going down south to try to engage them, but it is kind of risky because it risks itself getting Fausted and killed by the Panzer IV. Snipers currently heading back home. And still no med bunker, so I'm not exactly sure why they're going through here. I guess they're just going to go to the south in this direction. Grenadiers that captured, or were trying to capture the fuel point, do get pushed away by the shock troops, and the shock troops move to the... No, they were trying to capture the munitions point, but they decide to ignore that and move over to their side of the base. Up north, both T-34s moving close to each other, forcing away another Grenadier squad, and the conscripts are flooding behind them and are going to start just capturing territory en masse. Neither T-34 currently... No, this one actually does. I was going to say... Sorry. My brain. I was going to say that T-34 didn't have the ability to cap right now, but yeah, this one has the bet once, so it could cap if it wanted to. Center map, the Panzer IV makes itself known. The shock troops are forced to retreat. They don't actually take much damage, but they do scout out the position of it. The mortar is currently getting assaulted by Pios. The Pios not really capable of doing much damage to the mortar, but they will be able to do something. With the T-34 coming in for support, however, those Pios are forced to back off, and they do. T-34 taking, massive amounts of damage to a mine right there in the center, and it goes down instantly to one shot from the Panzer IV. The second T-34 is backing off a little bit, getting some repairs, but a replacement T-34 is now arriving on the field, so field memory acceptance is still in okay shape, but he did lose a T-34 a little bit, unfortunately, in the center. Back at base, AndyisRIPPIN decided to actually build Tier 2 and get himself a pack gun. He wants to have some additional type of anti-tank support, and that is a very, very nice choice. back at base, nothing's really happening there. And we hear some G43s going off against approaching shock troops. The shock troops are going to rip into these grenadiers. Nade landing on the grenadiers. They don't notice, and down goes two of them instantly, forcing the retreat. And the shock troops are reigning supreme down south. Panzer IV harassing conscripts. One MG42 does get cleared out. Not sure if it got cleared out here or a little while ago, but it is there. The conscripts, however, decide not to go for it, since the Panzer IV decides to sit upon it and say, "This is my MG42." Anyway, so the conscripts Ura forward. They're going to get in range of that Panzer IV and also get in range to capture the MG42, and they retreat and die. So, not exactly sure why field memory acceptance did that. I mean, I guess he wanted to steal the MG42, but all he did is end up losing a lot of members of the squad and forced to retreat. Conscripts do manage to get off of 18-8 out on that Panzer IV. The Panzer IV is, it's now getting strafed by the Sturmovik, and here comes the damage. Does a little bit of damage, not a lot, but it does, add up. And the T-34 is currently in the center of the map, second one down south, so there's not going to be any follow-up. The Pios are moving in for repairs, but it needs to get the hell out of there because it's a very wide area that Sturmovik can shoot at. Will we see if that happens? Sturmovik is currently circling the area, moving out of the zone, and here it comes for another barrage. It is going to get right on top of that Panzer IV, and there goes the barrage, down goes the Pios, and the Panzer IV takes another barrage, and the Sturmovik moves along the way. So yeah, a little bit of a mistake there by AndyisRIPPIN. He thought he was clear, but no, that area is pretty big. Sturmovik still taking some shots from that all machine gun or top machine gun. Just be careful of that. And the Sturmovik moves away and is coming around for another pass. What is he going to shoot at this time? It shoots once again at the Panzer IV. There goes the damage on the Panzer IV. That Panzer IV is getting wrecked. And there is a T-34 at base harassing, but the pack gun is there to stop it, and the Panzer IV, even in its damage state, is a significant threat, but the pack gun finishes the job, and down goes the T-34. So field memory acceptance, getting a little bit greedy, sending that T-34 in, and does not manage to get the kill off on this Panzer IV. So Panzer IV getting repaired. Pios, only one left. The other squad got massacred there next to the tank. The bodies are already gone. And T-34 up north is going to harass this Grenadier squad, taking a nice shot, killing two of them instantly. And the shock troops are right on top of them. They try to get in range for a Faust, but they notice that, oh wait, two of them are friendly. The first just died, so we're probably gonna just go. Soviet mortar, I think, killed some of its own conscripts. No, it didn't. MG42 catching conscripts out in the open, nade landing right on top of where they would have been also. So we now have down south shock troops and conscripts capturing territory. So very nice back and forth here by everybody. And that MG42 is forced to retreat as we see a barrage going down by the mortar right on top of where that MG42 was. Snipers heading up to the north. Pack gun also there for support, and that MG42 has not gotten picked up by anybody. There's still bodies left from the conscripts that are trying to capture it last time. And it's interesting that the bodies of those conscripts are still there, while I can't see the bodies of the other guys, but whatever. Grenadier does go down to a T-34. T-34 manages to stop them from capturing the strategic point, but it needs to be captured again if they want to connect the entire south. MG42 catching the conscripts out in the open, but it does take sufficient damage that AndyisRIPPIN decides to retreat it, and those shock troops are now being able to push forward and capture territory. Grenadiers move down and are going to get engaged by the shock troops. Conscript squad is the one that ended up going for the cap, and a nice nade there by the Grents. Although very nice dodge there by AndyisRIPPIN, he actually pushed them forward rather than back off, and field memory acceptance was actually trying to catch him as he retreated. So very nice. Shock troops, however, do have those SMGs up close, and they rip into that Grenadier squad down to one man on the retreat, and they retreat themselves. So now with two Panzer IVs on the field, those T-34s are in a lot of trouble. They get caught out of position, one of them getting shot in the rear armor, while the second one is not nearby the support. He's going to go for the ram on this guy. No, actually he's not. Second T-34 moves up. There goes a ram of one of the Panzer Force, and the other Panzer Force is going to get rammed as well. No, yes. Oh, there they go. So both Panzer Force get disabled. One T-34 kills itself as it gets the ram off. So this T-34 is actually capable of being repaired. There's combat engineer squads nearby. The snipers are taking some shots at the combat engineers as they try to get the repairs off. So the T-34 is left there inoperable for the meantime. Conscripts do capture the point next to AndyisRIPPIN's base down south. AndyisRIPPIN currently approaching to the very center of the map. Snipers doing what they can, trying to fend off all the approaching infantry. Conscripts hurrahing forward, getting right on top of that pack gun. The MG42 flips around to see the conscripts approaching. There's still no Molotovs in the game, so unfortunately, more field memory acceptance, he can't throw that at the MG42. The snipers, however, are shooting at the conscripts as they approach, but the conscripts are able to get some shots off on the snipers. The snipers taking a lot of damage, but they make it out alive. And we now have a med bunker back at base for AndyisRIPPIN, so he's going to be just fine. The pack gun does move into range and is able to clear out that T-34. Both Panzer Force are currently just sitting there, although they have just engine damage. I don't know why AndyisRIPPIN decided not to move them. I mean, it should say immobilized or destroyed engine if it wasn't going to be able to do it, but I don't know. Conscripts do finally get into position and are able to clear out the pack gun. Another T-34 that they got produced for field memory acceptance manages to clear out one of the Panzer IVs. The second Panzer IV now keeps getting shot by the T-34. The Pioneers as well getting ripped to shreds by the whole machine gun down here. And that Panzer IV is going to go down, and AndyisRIPPIN decides to throw in the towel. Says, okay, I'm going to lose my tank. I don't have much else left on the field. So that's going to be game. So very nice game by both players, very impressive, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.